Don't Give Up Your Day Job, a local musician's guide. By me, Paul Gillings. An educational and sometimes humorous look at what it's like to be part of the local music scene. Hello and welcome to another episode of Don't Give Up Your Day Job, the local musician's guide. I'm here joined by some three lovely people today, some old friends of mine, some new ones, I'm very glad to say. And if I go around the room to my left, I have the lovely Coral Cross. Hello Coral, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock in and that'll do either way.
Yeah.
Danny Arse, come back from more punishment. Hello Danny.
Good morning mate, how you doing?
Oh, he's speaking better today, that's lovely.
A bit more clear.
Mumble. And my good friend Chris Garrod. How are you, mate?
Afternoon, mate. Very good, thanks. Yes.
Thanks for coming along. Awesome. So, like I normally do, and I prepped you for it a little tiny bit before we jump in the deep end. I just want to go around and say, obviously, Danny, but we're sick of the sight of you now, so
mate.
we know what you're all about.
Furniture.
Yeah. But Coral, what is it you're up to musically at the moment, and how do we know each other?
So we know each other through the music scene, obviously, and your daughter is also also partner to my nephew Leo, who is 7.
Yeah, they're 7 and 8 years old, and
yes.
they talk about marriage the whole time. Valentine's Day's planned, all sorts of stuff.
So
we're practically related then.
Future
really.
in-laws.
Yeah.
And musically at the minute, I've actually had like a bit of a quiet period, which I think sometimes you need in music. You need like a little step back just to sort of figure out and redirect yourself.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I've got the band, the original band, but it's sort of just we've had a little bit of a break over Christmas, and I'm hoping I was ill a couple of weeks ago, and I was hoping to just get back into writing again. Like I feel like my inspiration is now coming back. So yeah, I'm hoping to get either an EP or an album together this year.
Great. It goes in waves, I find, like that, doesn't it? You know, I have a surge where I write a dozen songs and other times nothing. And I think for the longevity of it, sometimes you find you have to sort of let that go a little bit and ride it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't figure out with creative writing whether it's like you have to use it or lose it, or whether you just need to start doing it and then it'll kind of come back, or whether you just need to be inspired to do it. It's quite hard to know, really.
Well, it was an interesting point that, because a friend of mine is an artist, John Loker, and he paints. He's got stuff in the Tate and stuff like that. And he says that, because I said to him about, do you ever have any dry spells and stuff like that? He's got this massive studio. And his wife does work for Damien Hirst and stuff. And I just wanted to drop that name, sorry. But he said that, and I said to him about the same thing about do you like wait and leave the creativity? And he was an advocate for fighting through it and forcing it. But for him, as an artist, as a job, that was work, and it's always been work.
Yeah.
He left art college and then did it for a living. I've got to sell paintings. I've got to do something. Yeah. So I properly forced it. And the man's a machine when it comes to it. You know, it really is. But I'm a bit more like I used to be, very much like that. But now I find it's just like the same as yourself there. Do I let it go? Do I just wait for the inspiration to strike a bit? And I think that probably just comes with my age and how I've been kicked many times. I don't know, but he was very much of the push through.
Yes.
Through,
yeah.
Oh, cool. So taking a little step back, having a look. So it's the Coral Cross Band, for those that don't know, for those that are listening in, and you're sort of reassessing where that is.
Yeah,
awesome.
But I have my solo music page as well, and obviously, like me and you have done a little song together.
We did do a little song. I was very glad to say, and we're sort of, because we've been ill and my family's been ill. We've been sort of troubled to get back to it, but we're hopefully back on track now, aren't we?
Yes, hopefully,
so
so
get that back going on. Yeah, awesome stuff.
I've heard there's a little sneak preview of that. Sounds really good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I sent it to Neil James of Smart Radio as well.
Nice.
He loved it. He sent EP full of that, please.
Yeah.
So that's good news.
Awesome.
So Danny, we know. Hello, Danny. Nice to see you again, mate.
Hey, bud.
What have you been up to musically lately?
Just the same as episode 1, mate. Still working on the EP.
Still slugging out with some old duffer on a mouth organ.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's it, mate. Just get ready for this year, mate, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a few gigs coming up and that, haven't we? You know, Dev's managed to, for the first time in my probably entire career, that people are asking us. Yeah. And that's never happened to me before. It's usually chase it down, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, people are asking us.
We've got a gig later today, haven't we?
We have. We've got to drive for an hour and a half after this, yeah. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, baby.
Loving it.
Where are you playing later?
At the Narborough Sports and Social Club.
Oh.
Which has been broadcast on West Norfolk Radio.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, have you been in touch with old Jane Clayton over there?
No.
Give her a shout. Send us some tunes. They're lovely. They love like original music, just like smart radio and stuff like that. And go on and do a live set with her.
Yeah.
You like just buy one seeing that. They love that. So she would love that. That's where I met my mate. It was Kevin Tablin that I've done a few duos with. Me and I met on there.
That's great guy.
So it was cool. Yeah. And then Mr. Chris Garrod, ho.
Yes, how you doing? You alright?
I'm all right, mate. Lovely to see you. We've had a little break. You have not seen each other for a bit, have we?
No, it's been nice.
It's been nice being away from you. It's been lovely being away from you.
No, of course not. Yeah, we have had a break, haven't we? But,
Yeah, man. What have you been up to musically lately then, dude?
well, carrying on from where we left off with the Jamshedders and that little original kind of project I started by myself in lockdown, really, to start with. Well, me and you, really, I suppose, didn't we? With learning about recording, because I was a bit of a dinosaur, obviously, with the recording, as you know, with my old tech.
Yeah. So you had the digital 8-track.
I did have the digital
which was a
8-track.
step on from the tape machines that we used to use, right?
Yeah, that's right. I used to sit in the middle of the floor, didn't it, and let's hope that it might pick something up. But yeah, so it's, that's kind of where I've gone with mine, learning to use the PC, thanks to yourself, obviously.
Good.
That has then progressed to actually wanting to do it live. It sounded good record, and that's kind of inspired me then to sort of go live with that.
Fantastic. So we put just so for those that obviously you and I know what's going on.
Exactly.
But you've got a drummer, bass player.
Yes, that's right.
And me on mouth organ, and now backing vocalist, the lovely Gail.
That's correct. Yeah, we're sort of slowly sort of growing, but it's kind of a thing that what I want to do, that I can do it by myself if I want to. It can be done as a duo. I done a duo gig the other week, and that worked quite well.
Yeah.
So it's one of them kind of projects that it doesn't have to be the full complement of the band. It can be whatever is required, and I suppose whatever we fancy and whatever the venue wants, really. Is what
Yeah. So adaptability within that, and it's all
definitely.
original material as well.
It
isn't
is,
it?
It's all sort of things that I've wrote about while I was in lockdown, because I had time then, because I wasn't at work, so I sat in my studio and just pretty much wrote these tunes all about, I don't know, things to do with me and just stuff that's just come to me, and I just put pen to paper and I just write.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because when I first, and it's lovely to hear that from you as well. Because I think when we first got together and hanging out, it was like, we have a socially distanced, because your studio's in your back garden, and we had the door open, and I sat near the door,
Down the other end of the garden,
and you were down the other end, of the shed, of the jam shed.
all legal.
And we were like, I don't care if it's bloody not. Boris would probably jam right and sat in each other's laps, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking. We were doing that, and I remember you said, like, I was like, so you got any lyrics? And you was like, I haven't written lyrics.
Yeah,
It takes me a year to write lyrics.
Yeah.
And then the next time I came to see, we had a little bit of a break there. I think some rules got a bit harsher, didn't they? And I came back, and he says, well, I've written, I can't stop.
Yeah,
I've written this, I've written this, I've written that, I've written the other.
Yeah.
And what sort of was it? Obviously, there was a number of things I think happened. There was the time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the
right.
technology as well.
Yeah,
It was sort of great songwriting tool, I think you found, didn't you?
Yeah, oh God, yeah, it made a huge difference once I got my head around it. So much quicker to get these ideas down, and once I started doing that, that was it. Then no stopping at that point. And then it just had to be a band. Then I couldn't just have these things to play in my shed, and it's kind of gone from there.
It's great. I find it good for putting because you can put the drums on it. Because obviously you play guitar, bass, and you do the vocals as well, aren't you? So you do you have electronic drum kit as well, didn't you?
I did. I have now got rid of that, unfortunately, but I still have a cajon and sort of percussion drum stuff and that, which I've used the cajon a couple of times to record with. A little bit interesting, obviously, as you know, recording them. But I've used that a few times.
So you lay down like full band demos.
Absolutely,
to take to the band
yeah. I am a one-man band when I'm in my shed.
And how do we know each other? I think that our tale's quite a good one, because not that everyone else's isn't, but we've known each other for a
long time, isn't it? But it goes back to the Nexus days when I used to come round and watch you play when I was then learning guitar.
So 1999, 98, 99
easily that, if not a bit before. That was when I then started Without a Clue, and we were doing that, and we used to sort of hang out, didn't we? And then
fantastic bands. I remember.
Yeah.
You remember Without a Clue?
Yeah.
Great band, good fun.
It was good fun. We had a lot of good fun with that. Done a lot of good gigs. Went all over the place with that. That was just never quite got there, unfortunately.
There are tens of thousands of bands that
of
don't,
course, but it's just sort of about enjoying it, and it's not about doing that, it's got to be number one, and just enjoy it, have that passion to keep going.
And you recorded a few albums with them boys as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah, quite a few. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you how many, but definitely double figures.
Bloody hell. I've got the first 2 demos up in my CD rack there of things I've been on, which I actually did play on. But Mr. Trevor Fuller was certainly driven and putting you guys forward. And like I said, I was always very jealous, because Nexus was fairly hard work. We had a strange, and this is what I want to get onto today, to talk about putting a band together, which you've done recently. And Coral was saying you're taking a small step back from, and I know Danny's done in the past, and Danny and I play together now.
And we thought about the idea ourselves as well.
Yeah, for a full band and stuff like that. So, that was a very, it's a strange creative process putting a band together, because my experience at that time, let's take those 2 parallels there. There's You and Without a Clue, driven by Trevor, who was the main songwriter, great songwriter, a good guitarist, and from what I could see from the outside, and Steb, and correct me wrong, so he brought the songs to you.
Yeah,
these are the songs. This is how they go. You boys put your bit to it.
Yeah.
And Nexus was, who's got an idea? Who's got a riff? So guitarist would play a riff.
Yeah.
And then drummer would go, well, I've got a little bit of diddly diddly. And then I'd go, well, I've got 3 words. And the bass player would go, well, I've got a whole thing. And we would just hash it out. And I think in the 3 years we were together, we wrote 8 songs that were each about 8 minutes, 10 minutes long.
I listened to one recently that was just over 9 minutes, actually.
So you could have had 32 songs if you had chopped them up a bit.
Could have chopped those songs into separate bits, but it was for me an excruciating way to write songs, and it's something that I've talked about with you, Danny, isn't it?
You try and shy away from that process.
Because you come up with an idea before knowing my history with Nexus, and it got me to spill all that out, didn't it? So is this the way you've worked before then?
Yeah, it was creative input from all of us. But if one of you would come up with the idea or a riff or a lyric or something, and then you'd take it in and take it to the rest of the band and go, right, what can you come up with? And it was very much that way. But
did it work well for you boys?
Most of the time, creative differences did play obviously a major part in it, because everyone was passionate about it. So it's like, okay, but at that point it was up to everybody else to decide which out of the 2 versions sounded better.
Right, I see. So it was a collective idea.
It would shut you 2 down then. If there was 2 of you arguing, it was like, right, you 2 be quiet for a minute, we're going to have to listen. And it was kind of worked out like that. So it's kind of like a democracy, kind of like a relationship. But
would it get heated then? Was that something was that something you boys were okay with? Was there any rock and roll tantrums? I love a bit of that.
Savage, and we'd always have a clash with whoever the lead singer was. We had 3 lead singers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'd always be Savage clashing with them. I'd be the middleman trying to keep the peace. Do you know what I mean? All the time. And sometimes, me and Sav butt heads as well. Because it was only myself on guitar and him on bass, so I was playing rhythm and lead. So a lot of the times we were doubling up on what we were doing between the bass and the guitar. Yeah. So there would be a little bit of heated discussion between us when he's trying to tell me how to play a riff, for instance.
So how was your band, the Coral Cross Band? How did you guys do it? Were they your songs that you brought to the band like that, like Trevor did with Without a Clue, or like Chris does with Jamshedders?
Yeah. That's pretty much how we've worked all through it, really. Because I sort of predominantly write the songs, and then I'll bring it to the band, and they'll put their own spin and twist on it and all their own ideas, and then that can take a song that I've written, I'll hear it in my head with an idea, and then the band will sort of take it in a completely different direction, and it'll sound really awesome. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we've worked. But I was just when Danny was talking about being in a band, I was thinking about the relationship that you have with bandmates, and it is completely different to anything. It's almost like having a marriage.
Yeah, I always compare it to being married to 3 other people.
It is. Yeah, and you've all got your own ideas and differences, and you have to really sort of work on your communication skills, I guess, to be to sort of all maturely get on, because there can be a clash of creative ideas and everything. So it's not like anything any other sort of friendships I've had. It's like a marriage.
I think it's immensely educating, you say, the socialisation, the letting go of your ego, as well, and sort of that's what I wanted to talk about. It's like, how do we select these people? Like, you went through 3 singers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Chris, how did you go about recruiting bods for your new band? I mean, I know, but there was late editions and stuff like that. But when you suddenly thought, right, I want to do this live, and I know you've been in loads of other bands like through the past. You know, how is that recruitment process echoed in that? Do you see like Carl says, do you see like the relationship first, and then think I can work with them, or do you just go, God, they're a good bass player, cornet player, whatever it is, I want them?
For me, it's about the relationship, not how good they are on the instrument, because they can be really good, but they're a pain in the arse, and I don't want to work with them, basically. It's got to be a good sort of feng shui, hasn't it, with the band? And so my selection, if that's what you want to call it, was people I've worked with in the past over the years that I know that I get on well with, that gel with, really, because I think that's where that comes from, isn't it? Making good music, I suppose. If you don't gel with somebody and they're just like I don't know, I can't sort of think of it, so I don't want to say any names.
Don't say, no,
it can be really good.
Yeah.
But if it's kind of a learnt playing, and I don't know, I like that fluent kind of playing, I suppose.
Would you be prepared? It's a good question. Would you be prepared to put up with someone who was supremely talented if they were a pain in the arse?
Well, maybe.
He does already.
It would depend in what way they were a pain in the arse, maybe. A few years ago, yes, perhaps I would have done, but now it's a different kind of kettle of fish now. This is the songs I've wrote. And I suppose they would have come from my heart, my creation. So I probably wouldn't, not so much now.
Okay.
I don't think. If I felt it wasn't working, then I would. I don't think I would just jog along now, because I'm sort of thinking, I don't know, this might be the sort of final kind of push that I do with something like this. I don't know. So I wouldn't want to go back to what I was doing now. I like writing my songs, performing the songs. That was something I always wanted to do for a long while, but I think it was in the time, and I wasn't ready years ago. I couldn't have done it, I don't think.
Well, it sounds like, from what I know of your musical history anyway through the bands, like it's been a great education.
Absolutely, it's all led to this point, really.
You had when you were in Big Red Boat, you had the chap there. Sorry, I forget his name. Jeff, who was very good on the promotion,
very good,
and pushing you out there. You did hundreds of gigs.
Yeah,
you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've done a lot.
So that's something you sort of picked up from him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've sort of picked up lots of bits and pieces over the years. Don't you sort of take the bits that you think are going to be, I suppose, useful? They just log away in there, don't they?
Yeah,
and when you need them, they come popping back. Other things, they just disappear. And that, but yeah, definitely from that we did do a lot of gigs, and he was very good at the promo side, so that's definitely sort of locked away. And for Trevor as well, the stuff he done, and yourself, especially obviously you, really, because it's been at more recent times we've worked together and spoke about it a lot. Where Jeff, I've not seen him for a long time, and same with Trev, really. I've not, we're all mates and that still, but it just happens, doesn't it, with life? You sort of go about your business, doing your thing. You just generally don't always see people. So.
No, this is it, and talk about that promo side as well, and sort of band functionality. I mean, and what you will prepare to put up with bods. I mean, I've been in bands with guys who were fantastic musicians, great guys, but absolutely outside of turning up to rehearsals and turning up to gigs, did nothing. Now, how do we all feel about that promotional side of it? How do we feel, Carl? Do you want to go first? I don't know. Who wants to go first on this one? That promotional side of it, is that the dictatorship, or is that the everyone should pitch in kind of thing?
That is a really really good question, actually. So I guess before the pandemic and everything, we all chipped in. Apart from, I guess our drummer he's not very active on social media. He's very wisely doesn't have Facebook or anything like that. So
yeah, I can see that. I can see why people don't.
Yeah, and he does. He's got us gigs, locally where he lives and things. So mainly it was me, Simon, and Tony who would do all the promotional side of things. And I've found post pandemic, I've found the sort of drive to keep doing that has kind of dropped a little bit, but I don't know if it's because of the situation. Venues have had to close, and the pandemic's had a massive impact on the live music industry. So But I'm hoping that like this summer, things will start sort of picking up again. And
I'm hoping that people are desperate to get outside. Is what I'm hoping. People are desperate to go and do stuff, and it packs that out. But the social media can be in that, because let's face it, that's the main port of our promotion these days, for people to see our product, book our band, and come to our shows, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just like they can just eat up your time, eat up your content. It's just like a beast. I know the beast needs to be fed, but my God, it's pretty relentless.
And obviously, like the algorithm sort of system on Facebook has changed now as well. And you can post something, and it'll be like a new music video or something, and the reach will be like 3 people. It's like, why did I just spend my energy doing this? So I guess you can lose incentive in that way a little bit. The promotional side and the admin side of music is not something that I personally enjoy doing. I will do it, but I much prefer the creative process.
Oh, for sure. I mean, unfortunately, it needs to be done, and it's something that keeps coming up in these podcasts, that we need to be everything to everyone at the moment, don't we? We need to be good at the tech, we need to be good at the social media, we need to and be able to play our own instruments, which, let's face it, keeping up your chops and stuff like that is harsh. We're getting it, but you're fairly new to the social media side of things. How are you finding it? Because you got into the YouTube, because that's what they call it for the over 40s.
Yeah, YouTube is good. Yeah.
The YouTube. I see rehearsals go up. I've been in videos of our rehearsals and stuff like that.
Well, it's a learning process for me at the moment, really, as you know. I've been sticking stuff up on YouTube and that to sort of try and use that, well, mainly for getting gigs, really, for myself, just so I can literally copy and paste the links, send them off to like the different things I'm applying for, really. But I'm still quite a way off where I need to be with that, to be honest, and that. But it's one of the things that just getting my head round, really. But I see the use of it. I agree with Facebook, definitely what Cole has just said. You do put stuff up on, not many people see it, but I don't know, I just keep plugging away at it, really.
Yeah, I think that's all he can do. It's like you've made something, and I think the people need to, but I mean, I personally really enjoy the process, seeing the band rehearsal, seeing how things are going together. I've just written a song, I love that snippet of being able to see, because let's face it, from all of our favourite artists, and we have them, the big boys, we grew up, or big girls, sorry, we grew up, listening to and thinking, I want to be like that. That's who I aspire to be. And then we find a documentary of them, Beatles or something. We like just love that little insight. But we can see that from our friends and from artists that we're friends with and stuff. That we're friends with.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
That little process from the spark of the first song. I've had a song idea. Here it is. I love that stuff.
I put all sorts of stuff up on YouTube and Facebook, really, whether it be sitting by myself in the jam shed.
The jam shed.
To a band sort of practice, obviously, at the studio or at gigs and that. So just lots of different insights, really.
I think if you've created something, and I think like what it comes down to is sort of like believing in your own music and your own material more than anything.
Definitely.
And if it only reaches a few people and a few people like it, that's great.
Exactly,
that's sort of better than nothing. And if it touches, sort of emotionally can touch other people as well. It's I think that's the main thing. Just knowing that you don't place your value or your worth through how many views you get. Just
that's the one. That's the one. Isn't it? That is the absolute key, isn't it?
Because that can obviously have an impact on your confidence. If even with live gigs as well, if you don't get many people turn up or nobody really claps or listens, it's like I feel a bit insecure now.
Self-doubt kicks in.
Playing empty clubs and bars was almost like a rites of passage. I saw Led Zeppelin when they played to 3 people and a dog in a pub in Camden. 1971 or whatever it was, you know what I mean? And people love that, and that's part of like it became rites of passage. And do you think people will look back on it the same and go, I remember when he only used to get 2 views on his YouTube, and I was one of them. Will people look at it with the misty-eyed nostalgia of that? No, it is odd, and I think you've hit a really good point for me there, Carl. It's like if you can change or touch one person emotionally with your song, then I think the song was worth writing. It's worth doing and putting out there. Because if literally one person gone, Cool, I felt that he communicated with me, then it was totally worth it, wasn't it? So that's good.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how do we all feel about playing other people's music? Because obviously we are songwriters now and have got bands together and have done our own things. So has that always been the way for you, Carl? Have you always played your own music, or have you been in other people's bands and played other people's songs and auditioned and gone through that process?
Once I did.
Just the once?
Many moons ago. I think it was like my first ever band. I went to audition. What is the studio called in Lowestoft? The rehearsal studio?
Cafe, yeah. Old Lloyd. We're trying to get him on, aren't we? That's where we go, Mr. Lloyd. Yeah,
that was down there. There was just a band looking for. That was a covers band, looking to sort of do functions and things. And I did go along, and I did it for a little while. I sort of did a few rehearsals with them, and then I think I just decided that it wasn't for me really. Just to do covers. When I've got all this like stuff inside me that I can write and create, I just but I do at the same time I do enjoy occasionally doing the odd cover and sort of putting my own twist or spin on it, because people do, especially when you're in a pub, there's a lot of people drinking, like people want to hear things that they're familiar with and that they know and they can sing along and dance to. I guess that's the tricky part about doing your own music, is the sort of unfamiliarity of it to other people, but sort of I mostly do my own music, but I will throw in the odd cover here and there as for other people mostly.
I think it's great and a testament to sort of a determination and a tenacity there to always be doing your own music, and not be part of someone else's cover band or something like that. Just to play for for me, I was so desperate to be in a band. Like, I'll play anything. I went to so many auditions. I was in a Blues Brothers tribute for 5 minutes as well. Not even as one as Jake or Elwood. Just a guy in the background playing the harp while everyone mined. Do you know what I mean? I would do anything. We'll do anything for tricks. Please be in the band with me. So I really admire that. I think that's and I think that's I don't know if it's lucky or you knew what you wanted. It sounds to me like you knew what you wanted, and like you said, there was so much in there.
Cool.
Oh, Mr. Danny Boy, then how have you been danced to someone else's tune before you realised actually I've got my own shit going on here?
We kind of did a duel. We did a 50-50 split.
Did you?
It's like we want to write our own songs in the band that we was in, but at the same time get the pub gigs and get those songs to people that they know. So it was just basically just 50-50 split of half covers and half originals, which worked well because then it got that familiarity with what we was doing. But the genre of music was metal, heavy metal and rock, classic rock, so it was easy to sort of fill all that in. That was all right, you know what I mean? But after that, I did join a band called Anthems, which I auditioned for, which was just like hits across the 80s, 90s and 2000s, but that was like pop stuff. It was a bit of all sorts, and then that turned into a Paul Weller tribute band that we did.
Right. I was going to say pop stuff. I can't imagine you doing some,
Yeah, I mean, trying to remember some of the tracks I've
never gonna give you.
It was like Wires. It was like Wires and that by I think it's Athlete. Did Athlete do Wires and that?
I don't know. Is this stuff from the noughties? Is it?
Yeah,
I'm out, mate. I have no idea. Past 1997.
It was 90s and early noughties.
Yeah. But the Paul Weller tribute band sounds fun, though, right?
Yeah, we practiced for 2 years and we did I think one gig, and that was at Stevie Mack's 40th.
Well, that was worth it, then.
But I mean, but that was I think we had Gary Moore in that, mate, with Lloyd on drums, myself on guitar.
Yeah.
And we did have a keyboard player for one session.
Not the Gary Moore, obviously.
No. I just borrowed him.
Probably passed away by then, I dare say.
So no, it was Darryl. I think Gary or Darryl, one of them. But that's about it, mate. I enjoy covers. I think I enjoyed playing them and learning them just to see how those musicians and artists that we look up to, how they structured and how they wrote their songs. Gives you an insight how especially with genres as well. If you flip between styles of music, you see how they're written differently and progressions and that. And if you're not musically literate, then it's a good way to discover how these different progressions move.
Well, that's what we said before, and I know I keep the danger of repeating myself over these podcasts. Anyone that has listened to 2 in a row, the thing of the Beatles documentary, for me, one of the standout things was that they knew thousands of songs but probably, you know, 3/4 of them couldn't tell you how a chord was put together.
Yeah.
But they could tell you how songs put together because they knew so many.
And their foundation for them writing music and moving forward was just like copy and paste parrot fashion of what they'd already learned, but in their own arrangement.
For sure,
in their own arrangement, because like I said, they hadn't gone to music school by the sound of it. I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
No, but they very famously couldn't read and write music. Although, you know, when you look at some of I think Paul McCartney's piano playing, I'd say otherwise.
Yeah,
but there you go.
I mean, it's from what you've learned, you then move forward and adapt and change and build upon. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like they've just gone, yeah, right, we'll nick them 4 chords and that's honestly what they're do our own. I mean, they've used that as a basis of learning, and then they've used that and adapted and moved forward
to create their songs.
And do you find that you, like as the years go on, your sort of style of writing can change? Because I've found that massively.
Oh God,
yeah,
definitely.
I think I've given less of a shit, I think, as the years gone on as well. I used to be very conscious of I have to grab people in the first 20 seconds. I have to write something that, you know, there was always this thing going about, if you don't think you've got any hits, look at your list of songs, you don't think you've got any hits, then you haven't. Like, why do I have to write a hit? Why can't I just like a song that write a song that I like, that I want to listen to?
Unless somebody else makes a hit.
I'll leave all that funny hit making business to somebody else, thanks very much. You know, I don't really, it was obviously, we'd all love to have that one song that would, for me, and I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I'd love to have that one song that just financially allows me to do whatever the fuck I want, so that then I can go and buy a building on the outskirts of town, just a bigger version of this, where I don't have to work during the day and have all my mates round and record song after song and put on gigs and do what I want to do, instead of having to make magazines for a man that is obviously already a millionaire. So, you know, that was why I wouldn't mind one hit.
We'd all like that.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was what I say, I'm not going to sell out, but I would, just for one. Just one, just me.
We should do some sort of songwriters lottery where we all write a song, throw it all in, we'll send it out there, and if one person gets a hit, then we can
sign each other on the I watch Rick Beato. I've mentioned him before, but on this podcast. But he goes through like top 10 songs on Spotify pop list, or like he went through the Grammy nominees for this year, and he said, there's a mere 11 songwriters on that song. So that would be the same for us. Like, oh God, there's 25 songwriters on this song. We each get a share of this millions of pounds. What's that all about? No, we didn't go in. Apparently, old what's his face? Simon Cowell made a lot of money from mechanical copyright from playing Triangle or playing like just any old crap in the background of these songs, and then he would get his PPL payments for being an artist or a performer on the record.
Right. Did they even know that he was on there? Did they just put it in really quietly as a real song?
But he's obviously got the time to have a secretary there sit there registering him for Triangle on that particular track in the PPL, and we all know what a pain in the arse that is to register. But Chris, you did. Early days. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please tell us your story. Don't let me tell it. But early days was playing rhythm guitar mainly for Without a Clue, which was Trevor's songs.
Yeah, they were all original.
Do you find that was like a good founding and a good education? Sort of
definitely.
Getting spark your own.
Yeah, well, when I was learning guitar myself, I would play covers because it gave me something. You know, when I was a complete beginner.
Yeah.
Something that it meant to sound like that, and I could play along to it, and kind of go like that. But when it came to actually like the band kind of thing, for a lot of years I wouldn't entertain playing covers, and it was all about writing your own music without a clue. I mean, we done that for probably nearly 10 years, I reckon, before it finally sort of fizzled out.
Yeah.
And that was always our own stuff, and then towards the end of the time, that was all I was bringing songs as we got better. I mean, Trev, to start with, was by far the more competent musician, so he used to provide the ideas. But
it's probably the more prolific songwriter, I think, at that particular time. But I mean, coming into your own now for definite, you know.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But eventually, with the Jan Moss and Matthew band, which was obviously many years down the music road.
And how we got back in touch musically as well, wasn't it? Jan Moss asked me to join. And to be quite honest, in all my musical career, it was one of the first bands I've actually been asked to join. And I didn't have to audition for, so I came up to me and said, would you like to join our band? And I think that's probably the first time that's happened to me in 30 years. So I was so pleased. I was like, I don't even know what it is, but yes, thank you.
For that band, that was the first time I'd ever gigged covers. Never gigged a cover before.
Wow, I did not know that.
No, that was always original.
Yeah.
And I never gigged.
The thing is with the covers in that band is that they were so different, and Jamos is such a good artist that way, where he will not do it as the record. I don't know. I don't think it's because he can't, because he won't even go. He won't even go there. He's like, well, I'm doing it. I'm doing the Jamos thing on that. So that's what I really enjoyed about that band is that, you know, and everyone loves to go and see a good covers band. You know, we like things because they remind us of something that's good. But I really love it when people do their own thing with it, isn't it?
Sure, you know? Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and that was the first time I'd really done it. That was a mix. So it was 50-50, I suppose. Well, as you know, you played with us. There was original songs, and there was the covers, and I think that was sort of quite a clever selection of covers that we did. Perhaps not the obvious ones that people.
No, that was the other thing. It's the song selection, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think that's quite important, and that. But sort of now with what I'm doing now, I probably wouldn't do it. I still play covers at home because I like doing it.
And they're very distinct. They're very, you know, they're very your own style. I mean, you played me a song and I was like, "Who's that?" It's like, it's this one. Oh, and it's so quite far away, but with the main elements of the song, it's like, to completely put your own twist on it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think that's fairly important, and a really like a skill that I think a lot of people take for granted as well.
Yeah.
You know, I have this with my kids that, you know, there's this new song out. No, that song's 50 years old.
And it's been released 4 times.
It's just been sung really breathy now, with something electronic in the background. So what's next for you this year then, Chris? What are you doing with the band then? Have you got a full set together now?
I've got more than a full set really, I suppose. At the moment I'm gigging, I think 13 original tracks that we wrote. I've got another 3 at the moment that we're practicing to go in, so I suppose at the moment without them 3 new ones I'm up to about an hour and 20 minutes of original music, I suppose, so it's going to carry on, obviously get these other ones in. I've got loads of ideas ready to go.
Is there a whisper of a studio going in and recording a little EP or something?
Yeah, we want to do that. I'm still recording at home for myself. I've done a few more the other week, so I'll probably do something for me.
Great.
With the songs.
Yeah. So we're going to see it. Are we going to see a Chris Garrod of Jamshedders like our EP, are we?
Of course. Absolutely. That is my. That is what I want to do.
Love it.
That one I feel is quite easily attainable.
Well, why not? Especially if you're getting in the studio there and the demos you've been playing, just excellence and the tech that we've got these days. The studio quality is fucking brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've listened to stuff that me and you have done on the computer and what I've done since, and then I go back and I get my demo CDs from bands that I maybe played in, say, 10 years ago, and I listen to that, I think, my God.
So these are bands that you recorded in a studio.
Yeah,
you put it into a studio.
Terrible compared to what I've just done on a free program on this computer.
Yeah, it's a revelation, isn't it? It's an absolute.
Opened up a lot, I think, for musicians if they can just get their hands on one of these sort of stuff the computers with. I mean, it can be quite easily doable now, isn't it? And I think what I paid for my digital multi-track, I paid about 600 quid for that.
That was when 600 quid were a lot of money.
It was a lot. It's probably the equivalent of paying well
wages.
over $1,000 now. Definitely, absolutely. Where now?
So did you find it really daunting going into that? Because I remember I bought my laptop round a couple of times.
I didn't know what it was.
And you said, I do computers for work a little bit, but you're a handyman, aren't you? He's very good. You're very good with the old hands.
Yeah.
So your wife said.
So they say.
Those fingers.
You say smell like it. See those fingers. It was, initially I put it down and you were like, ooh, and it seemed quite daunting, but
I backed out the shed, I think. Really shut you in there.
But really quickly, like I said, I left it with you.
Yeah.
And then I did leave a laptop. I had a spare Mac, didn't I? Just an old oh God, what is it? It's a 2010, 2009.
It's quite an early one, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
the first garage band, isn't it?
Yeah, you can pick them up for about 150 quid.
Exactly, I mean,
which I know
opens the doors then, don't it?
Yeah, and then like I came back a couple of weeks later, like, listen to this, I've recorded this.
Check this album out I've wrote.
Yeah. So you adapted really quite quickly to that. Was it that daunting in the first place?
I think for me, I'm a creature of just doing the same thing to then sort of branch off to do it, quite easy. I get him a little comfort spot where I'll just stick with that.
Yeah.
But I guess I just kind of, that was there. So obviously I did it, and then I realised actually it wasn't too far away from really what I had been doing. And it was actually much more straightforward than trying to do it on this tiny little screen on my multi-track. To having a nice big screen in front of you, you can see exactly what you've just pushed, exactly what instrument you're playing, and it's actually loads easier.
And once it's like, for, like you say, the Billy basics of what we were trying to do, as in multi-track. I want to record acoustic guitar, then I want to put my vocals over the top, then I want to put a bit of lead and stuff like that. It's great for that. But if you want to get more deep into it, you can do with the effects, with the cutting and pasting, with the transposing, and MIDI and all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's been a big journey for you as well, isn't it, buddy?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, I think I was only a couple of months ahead of yourself.
Paul's been going around spreading his seed everywhere.
all these little safe bubbles that we had going on.
Fuck you, Boris.
Obviously, Paul's coming over, mate, and he's telling me what's going on. It's really cool, man, to hear your process, and then to see your tracks, mate, being like put up online and hearing them. It's just like, awesome, man. So I could see you've been caught by the bug, and it's just like, you're on a journey now. So
once you're there,
again, mate, we've got something in common there, mate. It's Paul getting us both up and recording.
Absolutely, definitely.
It opens the doorways, and you just press delete, mate. I love that. I use it. If anything's wrong or anything, you just delete it, refresh, or just go back, click edit, boom, it's done. It's like, wow.
It is so much easier once you get your head around it.
You're doing yours on an iPad, weren't you, Carl?
I have recorded a few songs just on my iPad on GarageBand as well.
That's right.
And then
you just use the mic. You just use the mic on headphones.
But obviously, like once I've got all the tracks laid down and everything sort of how I want it, I'll then take it to a studio. I've taken it to Blaze. Before with Raoul, who does an amazing job, and we did one song, and he sort of like almost produced it for me, and I did all of it like pretty much on my iPad, and then went to record the vocals at his. He mixed it all up, and it did really well actually. It got like a play on BBC.
It sounded fantastic.
Like,
it sounded great. It was brilliant thing. And this is it. So we're using either complete home or hybrids and stuff like that. Because I record them. I do a rough mix, and then I do the same as you. I'll send the stream, so I'll export in the individual instruments, send them to Raoul, and he sprinkles a bunch of fairy dust on them or something. You come back and go, is that even me? What the hell? And charge us like 30-40 quid a track for it as well, which is awesome, and so much better than having to spend like them. Imagine how I just add up the amount of. So you did like double figures of albums without glue. How many weekends was that in that studio in Dis?
Oh no!
And how much money went on there as well?
Last time I went there was with Zipfel's Barber.
Oh yeah,
doing that, and we had one weekend there, and we literally came away with just a basic sort of copy really of what we were doing. It needed more work, but unfortunately lockdown happened, and
so it's still unfinished.
It's unfinished. It won't get finished, but that was 500-600 quid in.
Jesus,
I suppose.
Yeah.
I listened to that, and what I've done at home is better than that.
So that 500 or 600 quid is basically now a fair decent microphone. I mean, that one in front of you, I use for vocals and acoustic guitar and harmonica, and that was 160 quid. And the interface I bought on was 150. And then I used to record it all on that Mac that you've got now. So for that, you could have your own studio set up. And then 20-30 quid a track, or buy an iPad because they're £500-600 brand new. Do you know what I mean? And just get stuck in. Can we?
I think that's the best way.
It's been a revolution.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know we're all trying to keep up our day job. That's why we're on it. But I find the convenience of it better than anything else. I mean, I've got this room that we're all sat in, and once my little girl's in bed, or in between when I should be doing work from home. Shouldn't say that really. I could just I'll just nip down there, play that guitar track, or play that little bit in there, do a little bit of mix or whatever in between stuff, and it's the convenience, and instead of having to save up all your ideas. And I find that the red light fever doesn't get me so much anymore.
I still get that a little bit,
even at a home studio.
Yeah, still
get the sweat on.
Yeah, I'm worse by myself. I'm better when someone else is around.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm sitting in the studio on my own trying to record, I can be a nightmare for just, I'll do something and then I'll just dither around and then I'm on this and I'm like, and I'm like, yeah.
Do you know what I mean by the red light fever?
People listening and I'm just like, and then I get all self-conscious. But as soon as somebody else is in the room with me and I'm sitting down recording, that kind of disappears.
Yeah,
that's all right, the first take. But yeah, on my own worst nightmare sometimes, mate.
So I don't miss that looking through the glass and you sat there like ready to go, and then the producer's like, you're waiting for feedback, there's nothing, there's absolutely nothing. Was that a good take? Was it any good? Am I going to cue this up? Is he going to tell me where he's going to drop me in? Is he going to whatever? And then you play a bit and it stops. You think, oh, was that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Go again.
Freaking anxiety of all of that is kind of gone. And I was when I sent off my first album to Raoul at Blaze there. I remember like I'd never heard of him really. Obviously for the bands he'd been in, but I'd never put the two together. And I was just searching local studios, and I messaged him and a couple of others saying, I've recorded it, is there something you can do mix it? He said, yeah. And I was really self-conscious, and I was expecting him to say, no mate, that's too shit, you've recorded that. Terrible. There's fuck all I can do with that. Yeah, by the way, there's a bum note in the third bar at the second chorus. You've over-recorded it or something like that. So that kept me awake. I sent him off 11 tracks. It was just acoustic guitar, harmonica and vocals. So it was like, oh my God, he's going to tell me that's out of tune, he's going to tell me it's out of key, but which I think, like whether you sat through the glass from a producer or a thing, you worry about it. But when it's just yourself, you've got to be more self-critical.
Yeah.
So you think you pick yourself up on your own bullshit?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's why you don't like being by yourself there, Danny.
Because I'm constantly like, no.
I remember you telling me you did a solo on my new album, didn't you? And you had it on because you can do a little like repeat, like the 8-bar phrase, can't you? And then you can layer the recordings over it, so you can record it, and then it'll go back and start that 8-bar phrase again, so you can record it again.
Yeah.
And you can do that for up to like infinity times.
And then you can choose
which take you want.
So you can stay in the flow state and just keep recording through it until you've either narrowed in on that riff that you're after or something. And then you can just literally choose and flip through them. But then that's where again it opens the doorway for me just to keep going and keep going and keep going. So I'm like, that's the only problem with it. I do find it overwhelming. I really have to set myself some parameters and try and be really, really strict with myself.
Because I guess that creativity does need that parameters, doesn't it? Artists say, the medium of what you're writing, drawing, painting on and stuff like that, it forces the creativity. If you've just got a pencil and paper, that's all you've got to work with. That will force you to be more creative with that. If you've only got 2 days, it's costing you a fortune, and bass player's drunk, and someone else hasn't turned up at all, and oh my God, I've forgotten that second verse. It's like I'm on take 5, and it's 3 o'clock on the Sunday, and we've got to be out of here by 5. So some might say that forces the
a lot of pressure for
creativity. So I don't know about you guys, but I try and set myself. Like when I approach an album, but I don't go mad with the keyboards or anything like that. I'll say, right, this is a band album, so bass, drums, guitar, harmonica, 3 harmonicas, 10 harmonicas, I don't mind. So it gets fast and loose. But is that something anybody else does? Do you sort of set boundaries on your creativity? Anybody, Coral? Is that the kind of thing you do, or is it just like because you sing and play acoustic guitar, that's what you work with?
I don't really. I've never been great with boundaries.
I'm inappropriate and I don't care.
Because I find I think my problem is that I've got so much. Like I feel that there's so much that I want to do and want to explore and create with that it's almost too much for me. Like I could. you know, if I get on the iPad and I start playing with like some of the synth sounds, I'm like,
Oh,
I could do like
yeah.
I could do like a, you know, a 80s synth pop kind of album, and then it's like, oh, actually no, because I'm more of a guitar, you know, acoustic guitar, that's my kind of sound. And then like I have worked with other musicians as well, and it's sort of taken this whole other spin off on what my sort of genre is.
Because your stuff with Mark Ferguson there was very like almost, I don't know what the phrase entirely means, but it's like almost a bit EDM in places, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would be what that would come under, really, because there was sort of like electronic 80s. I mean, he's got that kind of sound, that signature sound, where it is very sort of synth pop 80s.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was great. Not my cup of tea, but it was really well done. I can tell that much, you know.
Yeah, so we're sort of, I've kind of spun off and done, you know, little different things here and there, but like the boundaries, I guess, it's not. No, I really haven't. It's more the sort of trying to not get too overwhelmed with the possibilities, and not when I get that overwhelmed, that's when I end up like having a bit of a slump and not doing anything.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I get too, obviously, because I mean, work can sometimes get in the way as well, as I'm sure you will have that as well. Like, you know, work stuff kind of takes over a little bit. But yeah, it is just trying to not get that overwhelm.
I definitely do that. I was in like 5 bands towards the end of last year, and had my own album that I've been working on for a year and a half, and had 20 tracks, all unfinished.
Yeah,
you know, none of which had any synergy or relation to each other. Some were poppy, some were bandy, some were rocky, some were boozy. And you know, I just needed to go, I'm sorry, everybody, I'm out, and I didn't play a thing. Did a for about a month and a half, and you know, I think
we were received the same phone call.
Part of ways with the Jamshedders. Did no music for like, you know, November and December, and then emerged that last sort of week of December, first week of January, and on and managed to like put the album together. So I totally get that.
I think you can get musical burnout. Like I think that can totally be a thing, and obviously more as the world sort of opens up again, more opportunities come in, you know, and then again I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to do that, and I really want to do that, and I want to do that as well, and I'm like, but I haven't got time for that.
That's it. I mean, it's great having a lovely circle of awesome musicians in it, and it's fantastic, and I want to do it all.
I'll just do it all.
And hang out with all of you and play in everyone's bands. But yeah, we shall head towards that and give up our day jobs, and you know, all write one collective hit song. I think that's the best plan there.
Definitely,
Yeah, so thanks everybody for coming along today. It's been real nice.
Pleasure.
Yeah, you know, it's been really lovely to talk to more musicians. I think you know, come back and we'll find something else to talk about, or just
we will,
just talk about nothing. And you know, if there's anything you got released or anything you'd like to add, then please let me know, and I'll stick that on the thing. But we shall adjourn then. So Carl, Danny and Chris, thanks ever so much for coming over.
No problem.
Thank you.
It's a total pleasure. We'll speak soon.